Daniel. I would be happy to walk you through the Archer problem from the test. Hopefully this helps. Let me know if you have further questions, and feel free to forward this video to anyone else who needs some help on this problem. So Robin Hood is at an archery contest. He released an arrow from a bow with an initial velocity of 140 and an angle of 10. The arrow is released from a height of 4 feet. Show work for full credit. Well, that was before we went online. So let's write some parametric equations. So I'm just going to use my, velocity times the cosine of the angle, t. And then since I'm in feet, this is going to be negative 16t squared plus 140 sine of 10 degrees. And if you think about an archer, like here's Robin Hood over here. This is Robin Hood. It's saying that the arrow is being shot. This is my arrow. Can't you tell? I'm an artist. Is from an initial height of 4 feet. So if that makes sense, like the archer is holding it at like a height of 4 feet. So I'm going to have a plus 4 at the end. Does that make sense? I wish you could tell me. I'll keep going. Teaching online is really hard. Alrighty. So that's how I would set up my equation. The target is 200 feet away. Okay. So let me get a new color out. This is grass. The target is 200 feet away. So think of this as the target, like here's my bullseye. Alrighty. So if the target is 200 feet away, that's a horizontal. So at what time would the arrow hit the target? I'm going to set my horizontal equal to, I'm going to set my horizontal equation equal to 200 and solve. So get out your calculator. 140, let's make sure I'm in degree mode. I'm not. Good catch. So 140 cosine 10. 140 cosine 10 gives me 137.87 t. And so I'm going to, let me just make sure. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So now we're going to divide both sides by that 137.87, and I get a t of 1.45 seconds. Alrighty, so that's at the time that the arrow would hit the target. Now letter C looks confusing. Oops, ignore this down here. I was helping an algebra kid earlier and I didn't erase my board. Okay. The center of the target is 4 feet off the ground. Okay, so like the bullseye is 4 feet off the ground. And points are scored based on the distance from the center according to the table. So how many points did Robin get with his first arrow? Okay, so I need to figure out at 1.45 seconds, how high is the arrow? Because that will tell me if it hit the bullseye or not. So I'm going to plug in 1.45 into my vertical equation. I forgot it. 140 sine of 10 degrees times 1.45 plus 4. All right. So let's type this in. Ooh. So I'm just typing this into my calculadoria here, and I got 5.6. I'm just double checking that's what I have on my answer key. So I got a height of 5.6 feet. So when the arrow gets to the bullseye, it is at a height of 5.6 feet. Well, if the target is 4 feet off the ground, then what distance is that? So you could subtract, and I get 1.6 feet away from the target. And so I look over here on my chart and I see 1.6 would get me into this category. So he earned 1 point. Alrighty. So now for part D, we want to do that whole process over again. Robin Hood is changing his arrow to be 9.5 degrees. So same thing, I'm going to set up my equation. What was the velocity? 140. The only thing that's going to change is the angle here. Okay. And I'm going to see is changing the angle, is that enough for Robin Hood to get a better score? So I'm going to do this all over again. So the target was 200 feet away. So I'm going to set my horizontal equal to 200. 140 cosine of 9.5 is going to be, 138.08 t. So I'm going to divide both sides by that number, and I get a t of 1.448. So we can round that to be about 1.45 seconds. All right, now I'm going to plug that t into my vertical to figure out, did he get closer to the target? Sorry, my handwriting's a little messy on here, but with practice, I bet it will get better. So I'm just going to type this into my calculator. 140 sine of 9.5 times 1.45 plus 4. And I get a vertical height of 3.86. Wow, Robin Hood definitely got closer to the target. Remember, the target's 4 feet off the ground. So actually, 4 minus 3.86, he is about 0.14 feet away from the target. So that's pretty close. Let's go up here. So 0.14 feet from the target would give me 10 points. So that's kind of how you would do that one. I hope that makes more sense now. Let me know if it doesn't. Hope you're doing okay. I miss fifth hour a lot, so I hope you're doing okay at home. Yeah, email me back if that helped, or if it didn't, we can try something else too. All right.